Hey everyone, and welcome back to our history series. So picture this. The mighty Mauryan Empire, the one that stretched across almost the entire subcontinent, has just crumbled. The last emperor, Brihadratha, is assassinated by his own general, Pushyamitra Shunga. What happens next? Chaos? Anarchy? Well, yes and no. It's more like a political free-for-all, a historical battle royale. This period, from roughly 200 BCE to 300 CE, is what we call the Post-Mauryan era. And trust me, it's just as fascinating as the Mauryans themselves. So, who are the new kids on the block? First up, in the heartland of Magadha, we have the Shunga dynasty, founded by that very same general, Pushyamitra. He's like, oh hey, I took out the boss, so I'm the boss now. The Shungas are staunch Brahmins, and you can see a big revival of Brahmanical traditions during their rule. Pushyamitra even performed the Ashvamedha Yajna, the horse sacrifice, not once but twice to assert his sovereignty. It was a massive statement. Imagine a king letting a horse wander for a year, and any kingdom it enters has to either fight or submit. Talk about high-stakes equestrian adventures. Their most famous ruler, besides Pushyamitra, was his son, Agnimitra. Now, Agnimitra is the hero of a famous play by the legendary poet Kalidasa called Malavika Agnimitram. It's a classic love story about him and a princess named Malavika. So while his dad was busy with sacrifices and politics, Agnimitra was busy falling in love. It just goes to show that even ancient rulers had a dramatic personal life. After the Shungas, the Kanva dynasty took over for a brief period, but they were a pretty minor player before the stage was set for bigger powers. Meanwhile, what's happening in other parts of India? Down south, in the Deccan, a new powerhouse is rising. The Satavahanas. They called themselves lords of the Dakshinapatha, the southern route. Think of them as the guardians of the south. Their first major king was Simukha, but the real rock star was Gautamiputra Satakarni. His mom, Gautami Balashri, was so proud of him that she wrote a whole inscription about his achievements, the Nashik Prashasti. It says he destroyed the pride of the Kshatriyas and was the sole protector of the Brahmins. He's basically portrayed as the ultimate hero king of his time. The Satavahanas were also unique because they had a metronymic system, meaning they often took their mother's name, like Gautamiputra, son of Gautami. This tells us a lot about the important position women held in their society. The Satavahanas were also major patrons of trade. Their kingdom was right in the middle of crucial trade routes connecting the north and the south and even overseas with the Roman Empire. Roman coins have been found in their territory, which means they were trading big time. They also contributed immensely to art and architecture. The famous Amaravati Stupa and the stunning rock-cut caves at Karl and Baja, with their intricate carvings, were built under their patronage. They were primarily Hindu rulers but were incredibly tolerant and also patronized Buddhism. Now let's turn our attention to the northwest. This region became a revolving door for foreign invaders, who over time became completely Indianized. First came the Indo-Greeks. Remember Alexander the Great? Some of his generals had stayed behind, and their descendants now ruled kingdoms in Bactria, which is modern-day Afghanistan. One of their most famous kings, Menander, or Milinda as he's known in Indian texts, pushed deep into India. He's the star of a famous Buddhist text, the Milinda Panha, or the Questions of Milinda. It's a deep philosophical dialogue between him and the Buddhist sage Nagasena. Menander asks all these tough questions about life, reality, and nirvana, and Nagasena answers them. Eventually, Menander converts to Buddhism. This is a classic example of these foreign rulers embracing Indian culture and religion. The Indo-Greeks also gave us something cool that we still use today, beautifully crafted coins with portraits of the rulers on them. Before them, Indian coins were mostly punch-marked symbols. Following the Indo-Greeks were the Shakas or Scythians. They were nomadic tribes from Central Asia who came and established control over large parts of western India. The most famous Shaka ruler was Rudradamantvai. He's a super important figure. We know a lot about him from the Junagadh rock inscription, which is a big deal because it's one of the earliest, if not the first, long inscription written in chaste Sanskrit. In this inscription, Rudradaman boasts about repairing the Sudarshana lake, which was originally built by the Mauryans. He even says he did it using his own money, without taxing his subjects. What a guy, right? He also highlights his military victories. including defeating the Satavahanas twice, but not destroying them because of their family ties. It's like a medieval soap opera. Next up in our line of invaders are the Parthians, or Pallavas. They had a brief rule, and their most famous king was Gondophares. According to Christian tradition, it was during his reign that St. Thomas, one of the apostles of Jesus, is believed to have come to India to spread Christianity. It's a fascinating connection between India and the early days of Christianity. And finally, we have the big one, the Kushans. They were also a nomadic people from Central Asia, part of the Uazi tribes. They established a massive empire that stretched from Central Asia all the way to northern India, with major capitals at Purushapura, modern-day Peshawar, and Mathura. Their most celebrated ruler was, without a doubt, Kanishka the Great. Kanishka is a giant of Indian history. He was a great military conqueror, but he's more famous for his patronage of Buddhism. He convened the Fourth Buddhist Council in Kashmir, which was a major event where Buddhist doctrines were systemized. This council is where the Mahayana school of Buddhism really came to prominence. Kanishka's reign was also a golden age for art and culture. Two major schools of art flourished, the Gandhara school and the Mathura school. The Gandhara school, centered in the northwest, was heavily influenced by Greek and Roman styles. It produced those beautiful, serene images of the Buddha, with wavy hair and draped robes, almost like a Greek god. On the other hand, the Mathura school used local red sandstone and developed a purely indigenous style of Buddha images, often with a smiling face and a more robust physique. The Kushans also controlled the famous Silk Road, which made them incredibly wealthy. They issued a large number of gold coins showing their prosperity. Kanishka also started the Shaka era in 78 CE, which was later used as the official calendar of the Indian government. So what's the big picture here? The Post-Mauryan period might seem chaotic with all these different dynasties and invaders, but it was actually a time of incredible dynamism and cultural fusion. We see the revival of Brahmanism under the Shungas, the rise of a powerful southern kingdom with the Satavahanas, and a series of foreign rulers who didn't just conquer but also assimilated. The Indo-Greeks, Shakas, and Kushans brought new ideas in art, administration, and science, but they also adopted Indian religions, languages, and customs. It was a true melting pot. This period laid the groundwork for the next great empire, the Guptas, by creating a rich, diverse, and interconnected cultural landscape. So to recap, after the Mauryas, the Shungas and Kanvas held the fort in Magadha. The Satavahanas dominated the Deccan, and the northwest saw a parade of Indo-Greeks, Shakas, Parthians, and Kushans, each leaving their unique mark. It wasn't a period of decline, but a period of transition, trade, and amazing cultural synthesis. Far from being a dark age, it was a vibrant and colorful chapter in India's story. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this breakdown makes the Post-Mauryan period a little less intimidating and a lot more interesting. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more history deep dives, and drop a comment below with any questions. See you in the next video.